our teacher appreciation. They take care of a lot of our events. Our kids love being involved in our school, and they love the technology that we have in our school, and that is directly because of the PTA raising funds so that we can have my wish list and my teacher's wish list in the building. Well, this is really one of my favorite nights of the year because I have hundreds of people coming in here excited to hear about what we do at our school and lots of new relationships that we're about to build. I see some familiar faces. How many of you already have a current student here at Lunsford? Awesome. How many of you, is this your first middle school child ever? I finally get to raise my hand too. I am the parent of a rising 6th grader this year. So in a few short weeks, I will be sitting in your seats in Prince William County. I have assured my 6th grade teachers that while I could get special permission to bring my daughter here, I respect my teachers too much to subject them to my own kid. We are not going to do that at all. So I get the same things that you're feeling right now. And it's interesting because I've been in education for 20 years. I've been an administrator for 10 years. And so I've spent my life telling people, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. There's people in this building that you can turn to and that you can trust. And we will listen to everything that you have to say. And it's different when it's your own kid. And now I'm sitting there and I get that sheet of paper that says, welcome to Ronald Reagan Middle School. Please choose your child's elective right now. Oh my gosh, this is really happening. The time has gone by so fast, I remember when she was born. So we have that in common for this year. If you had raised your hand saying that you, actually, can I have my first time middle school parents raise their hand again? Okay, can someone just turn to them and tell them it's going to be okay if they haven't been here? Because it is. All of the people that are on our staff of administrators, we're parents too. And that's, I think, one of the things that we feel is very valuable when we approach issues as middle school leaders. One of the first things we always ask ourselves is, how would I want this handled if this was my kid? And when we put that framework and that set of lenses on, it allows us to see the big picture in any of our issues. So there's going to be a ton of information thrown at you tonight. And I guarantee you that if you walk away with just a few small pieces of information, it will be completely worth it. You're going to learn how middle school works. You're going to learn who the names and the faces are of the people that are here. But if you walk out of this building tonight knowing your child will be loved, your child will be valued, your child will be challenged, and your child will be supported here, then that's my message to you. So we've got a full agenda for the evening. I told you there would be a pop quiz. So, mamas and papas, Monday. Parents just don't understand. Summertime. Staying alive. Mine was That's What Friends Are For. And End of the Road. Any idea what they might all have in common? Was anybody really thinking I was going to give them a pop quiz so they were sitting there trying desperately to think of the connection? They all have a little bit to do with school. Monday. Mondays are crazy around here, especially when it's a full moon. Summertime, and always was summertime. End of the road, it's the end of the elementary school road for you. Staying alive, yeah, that's what we try to do on a daily basis. And that's what friends are for. There's a lot of social pieces. But there's something else about those songs. I asked my team of administrators to tell me the name of a song that was very popular when they entered 6th grade. So those are our songs. Those are what's popular. So without dating ourselves, and we're not going to do the pop quiz and trying to match up which one of us went with which song, that gave us the connection to the kids. And so it was really fun for us to try and come up with songs that A, were appropriate, because as much as we say that our kids' music is not appropriate, to be honest, there were some of ours. We talked about Baby Got Back for a second. We're like, oh no, probably not. So we just wanted to show you that we have that connection to our middle school experience as well. You're going to hear a lot of information about Lunsford itself, about the block scheduling, about teaming, which are ways that we try and make a school of 1,500 feel small. We're going to hear about BYOT. That's a big topic. Bring your own technology, especially as you're thinking for your own children of, do I get my kid a cell phone? Should I buy them a Chromebook? What is it going to look like at the middle school? I don't want my kid just plugged in all day long and on a device. I want there to be downtime. I want there to be traditional teaching methods. So we're going to talk about that. Our counselors will discuss that course information. You'll be getting some letters from your elementaries in the next couple of days regarding recommendations, how you can get your student involved, and then next steps from here. So first, let me introduce my staff. Like I said, I'm Carrie Sims. This is my first year as a principal here at Lunsford. I spent the past 11 years at Mercer as a teacher, a dean, and as an assistant principal. I'm very happy to have gone to the other side. When Lunsford opened 5 years ago, it relieved the overcrowding at Mercer, so quite a bit of the staff came over to Lunsford. And of course, we were arch rivals for many years, and it took me all of about a week and a half to realize, wow, did I make the right decision? The team of teachers, the kids that are here, and the parents that are here could not be more supportive. You'll see my daughter on the left. She doesn't look like she's a rising sixth grader, I know. She is tiny. She just passed the 6th percentile in height. She's a whopping 51 inches tall, but she is 62 pounds at this point. She is my little gymnast. Anybody else have gymnasts? I know where are my folks that I've met this past weekend? Did they come? Oh, I met some people this past weekend when I was out and about in the community. She competes. I could give you kinds of life lessons that we have learned through competition and sports. I make a lot of analogies to education through my experience with her falling off of a balance beam in front of 300 people and in a tiny little wheel and having to get back up again. And we learn a lot through failure, and I make a lot of those connections to what we do at school. I can't really see my husband there too much. That's why my daughter's so short, because he's not much taller than her either. That's my husband, Bob. We've been married for 17 years. We met working at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. He is at the Patent and Trademark Office, and he is completely supportive of the times when I go, yep, it's another late night for us. I'm not going to be home until 9 o'clock. You need to do the dishes. You need to do the laundry. Love you, honey. See you later. We've balanced that role of moving from assistant principal to principal pretty well this year. You can see the picture on the bottom right-hand corner. Yes, I have marathon medals and bibs. I don't like to say that I run marathons because that would be disrespectful to those of you that actually run. I log marathons, which means that I run until I can't run anymore. I walk for a little bit and then I start again, but I always get to the finish line. Make a lot of analogies with education and marathons as well. And my time here at Lunsford has been fantastic. I don't have to get duct taped to the wall next week. That would be Mr. Salgado having to wear a tutu and tiaras for the box tops competition. We will stop at nothing with school spirit to make sure that our kids are having fun and that we're showing how much we love our building. I want to introduce a few other people here tonight that are going to be integral pieces of your child's education. Here we have Tony Salgado. He is the current 6th grade dean, and he's going to tell you about what it's like to transition to 6th grade, that teaming and that block schedule. I have our lead counselor, Ashley Harper, here, who will be one of the 6th grade counselors. I have Sue Simpson. She is our career and college readiness programs coordinator. And I have our 2 assistant principals, Jennifer Brooks. She is in charge of our testing, our transportation, and Katie Garvey, who is our special education contact, and our grade reporting contact, and lots of other responsibilities on a daily basis. And you cannot have a well-functioning building without a technology resource teacher that knows what they're doing. And we have the fabulous one in Miss Bonnie Archer. So they are my team. We're going to be presenting some information to you tonight about what we do here at Lunsford. Oh. So I'm going to start off with a video. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this video before. Do you want to try and get it going? See a little mother duck and her ducklings, and they are trying to climb some stairs. As you're watching the video, think about how this might relate to middle school.
Let's take it one, please.
Some of the comments that are being made too.
Look at the one that made it, watching all the other ones. Oh! They're trying so hard.
figure it out.
Oh!
We are watching the whole 2 minutes and 31 seconds because you need to see it to the end. There's suspense all over.
I'm gonna get scared. I feel like being far away is better. I get a view of all of them. They're doing it. Some of them. But she's just gonna leave them.
They're almost there.
Oh, the last, there we go. Last one. She knows. How cute is that? Yay!
They all made it. They got there at different times. They got there in different methods, but they all made it. And that's our job at the middle school level. Your kids do not learn at the same pace. They don't learn in the same way. But it is our job to support them, like the people videotaping. That mom, that mother duck, did she ever walk away from her babies? But did she go down there and do it for them either? Parenting is a big balancing act, so is teaching. And our philosophy of middle school education here at J. Michael Lunsford is that we are going to be supportive of your children. We are going to give them multiple opportunities to figure it out and to learn. Part of learning is making mistakes. Part of learning is failure and figuring out how to get yourself back up again. And so tonight, I hope to build that partnership with you where it's going to be really hard sometimes to figure out as a parent, is this the time that I let them try and figure it out for themselves, or is this the time that I need to be an advocate? Sometimes we're going to get it right, sometimes we're not. And as long as we are communicating with one another, you have amazing people here as resources to help you along the way. I first saw that video about a year ago at a conference that I was at about something totally unrelated. And it was at that moment when I saw it, I knew that I wasn't interviewing for principal positions just yet. I was still the assistant principal at Mercer, but I knew in that moment, no matter where I was going to be showing this video at Rising 6th Grade Parent Information Night. Because it was just something that spoke to me so wholeheartedly, and it was so innocent that these people captured this moment. And it showed exactly the way that I approach middle school education. I had my teachers watch this video yesterday at the faculty meeting, and I wasn't in the room. Mr. Salgado was facilitating the conversation, and I asked them for their thoughts on it and said, what do you think my message is going to be to parents? And it evolved into this amazing conversation that they had that I didn't even draw conclusions to. That is their job to really make sure that they don't leave any of their kids behind and that they do give multiple opportunities. So I said I was going to steal some of their information. They also gave lots of advice for rising 6th grade parents that we'll post, when we post this PowerPoint, we'll post some of the advice that 6th grade teachers would like you to know. So Lunsford, who are we and where are we coming from? Didn't think you realized we had so many feeder schools. I'm sure you all knew about Liberty, Hutchison Farm, Little River, and Cardinal Ridge, but we actually pull a few kids from Buffalo Trail, some from Pine Brook, a couple from Arcola. So we are all over the map of South Riding and Albany, and we no longer consider ourselves Eagles or Pumas, or is it Hutchison Farm Huskies? We are all Lunsford Lions now. So we welcome you to the family. We know that you're coming from lots of different styles of schools, but one of our jobs is to make sure that your kids feel welcome in this building and they find people that they're familiar with, but also it's a great opportunity to try new things and to meet new people. One of the the things that we value is our namesake. And it's really important when I meet your kids next month and when they come over to see Lunsford on April 6th, that they understand why the school is named for J. Michael Lunsford. He was the Director of Transportation from 1995 to 2009. He is actually the one who communicates with the superintendent to say, school or no school. So it's definitely not Wade Byard, and it's definitely not Dr. Williams. It is the man behind the scenes, and J. Michael Lunsford was that man behind the scenes for many, many years. He had over 40 years of service in Loudoun County. He loved this county, he watched it grow, and he was dedicated to the community service. He actually began as a bus driver at age 16 here in Loudoun County, and this is where he spent his entire life. He is known for his dedication and commitment to community service. And that's what we try and instill in our students here at Lunsford, is that when you are here, you are more than just a student. You have a responsibility to be a good citizen of your community. I was so blessed to be able to take a group of our History Club kids to the Board of Supervisors meeting last week, where they were recognized with a proclamation for a mural that they did in our cafeteria, right outside of our cafeteria, about the Conklin community. This land that Lunsford sits upon was actually land that was settled by African Americans and slaves. And the community that they lived in was a very close-knit community. And so the kids got to learn about where this place came from and why it was sacred to them. And they built this beautiful, painted this beautiful mural. Please go see it. It's outside of the cafeteria. It's fantastic. So it was awesome to see that they were dedicated to their community and teaching others about where it is that we come from. So one of the things that we do is we always try and reflect on our practices and try and align our protocols and all of the things that we do here to help kids. And you'll see that at the bottom of the pyramid, what holds it together are the relationships that we build. We cannot think that children are going to learn unless they have a connection to the person who's driving that instruction. And so that is the first thing that we build with our kids, is that trust and that relationship and the team building. We are a team of collaborators. You'll see it in the way that we do our scheduling. Your children will be on a team of teachers. All of those teachers have a common planning period so that they can plan instruction together and discuss what's going on with our kids. And we believe in equity. We'll talk later about how equity does not mean equal, but we believe in equity. We believe that all children should have access to rigorous classes, to instruction from a highly qualified teacher, to programs and clubs that are inclusive of all of our students. We are a standards-based grading school, which means that there are multiple opportunities for kids to show us mastery. We are not the kind of school where we give instruction once, we give the test, and then you sink or swim and you move on. We believe that learning happens on a continuum. It doesn't happen with deadlines and timelines. And so if you didn't learn the material a certain way the first time, you deserve another opportunity to hear that instruction delivered in a different method. We don't just give paper and pencil tests. We have projects where you can show choice in how you learn a certain skill. We have a collaborative team approach for our kids and for our teachers. So you'll see your kids involved in interdisciplinary projects where the PE teachers might be working with the math teachers on something. So we try and make those connections with our kids constantly. And we are a school that has integrated technology very, very well. We'll let Mrs. Archer speak more to that in a little bit, but we believe in a very blended learning process. We believe that there is digital content that is worthy out there because we know who our kids are and we know how our kids learn and what they're engaged in. Digital content is amazing for them. They can watch a video of 2 minutes and then they can get the blended instruction of hearing the teacher talk about it, and then they can see something, and then they can get up in the classroom and do something. So we try and appeal to kinesthetic learners, kids that need to get up in the classroom. I've taken seats out of my classroom and replaced them with those stability balls in the classroom for our kids that just don't want to sit still. We've got that for our kids. Are you excited about that? You look really excited about that. I'm ordering some standing desks because I don't like to sit either, and lots of our kids don't like to sit. They learn best by standing up at what they're doing. And so why not cater to the needs of our kids? You've probably heard from your elementary schools about our Lunch to the World initiative in the county. Here at Lunsford, we are in the process of doing our second semester Lunch to the World projects, but it's more than just these 4 elements that are important to us. Yes, the significant content and competencies are at the heart of everything that we do. Instruction in the standards is key for us. But we also want to look at real-world experiences for kids. So, for example, when we had the South Carolina flooding, we had a group of our FACS students who were learning about water and how water was important to nutrition. And so they made the connection that without clean water, they could not have nutrition. And so they decided to tackle the authentic problem of people not having clean water. And they did an entire project, which helped them learn about the standards involved in clean filtration systems. There's product performance, service, or exhibition for the world. On March 9th, you are all welcome to come out here and see the displays of our kids' work that they did for their One to the World projects. Because it's one thing to understand the material, it's another thing to deliver it and be able to teach someone else. And finally, we do a great job of being connected with the world. Our kids have Skyped with chemists. They have had political cartoonists come in and work with them on analyzing political persuasive media. We are constantly finding ways to try and connect our kids to people out there in the community doing the same things that they're learning about in the classroom. And so it's not just enough that we understand these elements, but we make sure that our kids will be able to tell you, Mom, man, it was a really authentic problem that we were solving in school today. Or I was very connected with my world through the use of Kahoot or Go Formative. So that's about all of my spiel. I'm going to come back on at the end, but now I'm going to introduce you to Katie, who's going to talk to you about how we promote equity in our schools.
Thank you, Ms. Sims. Again, my name is Katie Garvey. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Lunsford, and I do work with our special education department here. So what I wanted to talk to you just quickly about tonight, this is one of my favorite graphics right here. So just take a look at this for a second, and this is what we really stand for here at Lunsford and what I want to communicate to you tonight. That equal is not necessarily what's equitable. So when we say we're going to treat all kids equally, that's not actually what we're going to do here. We want to achieve student achievement. If you remember the pyramid that Ms. Sims showed just a few minutes ago, student achievement is what we're all trying to achieve through collaboration, positive relationships, and equity. So I love this visual because you can see the 3 little guys, different heights, and if we gave them all the same stool or little box to stand on, that's equal, but they all can't see. So what we do at Lunsford is kind of a tiered approach. Everyone might not need a box to stand on, but we want to make sure that all kids, that we're engaging in equitable teaching, equitable experiences for all of our kids. So that's something that we really do strive to do, not only through our special education department, but also just through all of our classes, through all of our relationships with our counselors, deans, administrators, teachers, and through our relationship with you all as parents. One last thing just to say, if you do have a child that does receive special education services in elementary school, we will be having a separate little info night for our special education parents in the spring. We'll get all the info out through our feeder schools, so just be on the lookout for that sometime in the spring. We're busy starting to plan that now. But thank you guys so much for coming. Again, Katie Garvey, one of the assistant principals, and I'm going to introduce Mr. Tony Salgado, who's going to go over kind of the middle school structure. This is what you kind of probably really want to know, how the day works and what the schedule, how to read it. So Mr. Salgado.
It's quite a build-up. I'm not really a microphone guy, being a former PE teacher, but I have to use the microphone for the live feed. So, begrudgingly, I will do that. Okay, so first question, what's a dean? Dean's a little different in middle school. Dean is a odd position at the middle school. Unlike elementary school, at the middle school level, we have an administrator for each grade level. 6th, 7th, and 8th, each grade level has a dean. Each dean has an office. in the house area. What's a house? A house area is basically where all your students' classes will be. Our building is actually constructed in a manner that is appropriate for middle school level age students. 6th grade students very rarely see 8th grade students, except for maybe in the hallway or at lunch, in transition. Neither the 7th grade. 6th grade is actually on the first floor, 7th and 8th grade are on the second floor. We use this structure at the middle school level, no matter what building you're actually in Loudoun County at this point. They're all kind of built the same. Well, the way that this works is we take a school of about 1,500 students. We have a little bit more than 1,500 students that go here. Each class is about 500. 6th and 7th grade are a little bit over 500, about 530 students. And split them into teams. And each one of the teams that we have are in the house area. So what's a team? A lot of vocabulary. Talking about pop quiz, you're going to get another one here in a second. What's a team? A team is a group of teachers, math, English, science, and history, that are grouped together. Your student will have a team of teachers that will all have a common planning period with your students' resource class. Ooh, another vocabulary word. This structure and the way that we do things here allows us, like Mrs. Simpson said earlier, to take a large group of students, 1,500 of them, and put them in a group that's about 170 to 180 students. This is very frightening for most 6th graders to walk into a building this size and see 1,500 people, and there's about 40, 30 buses, something like that. No student walks here. On the other side of Braddock Road, we don't have any walkers. Everybody rides a bus. It's a big school. But when doing the way that we have the structure of the house structure and then the team structure, actually really allows us to take this very large group and minimize it. We just did team celebrations yesterday, so we celebrate as a team. In the 6th grade, we have 3 teams currently: Rhino, Tiger, and Panda. Each one of those teams celebrates their awards together. We meet as a team. Our teachers on the team give out awards and celebrate achievements each quarter. Rather than doing it in a group of 500, we're doing it in a group of 180, which is much better, much better. A lot of intimacy. The pyramid that was shown just a minute ago, with the bottom piece being relationships, this is huge. My job and what I do allows us to be very proactive with the 6th grade middle school mindset, which includes a lot of drama, a lot of insecurity, a lot of that. The dean and counselor actually work very much in tandem. It's like kind of like the mom and dad of the 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Okay. Basically, the way that we have structured, I will be your point of contact. The 6th grade dean will be the point of contact for you if you have any questions, instructionally, behaviorally, just need a lifeline, call me. We had mentioned resource just a minute ago. Resource is basically what you would have known as a study hall when you were in school. Resource is a block during your child's school day here. It's on, right now it's currently on a B day, so it's every other day. Resource is only 45 minutes of that block. It's backed up to their music class, whether that's strings, band, chorus, music lab, what have you. And that 45 minutes is utilized to basically intervene if they need to. We have a lot of interventions in place to help students be equitable with those students. So if a student needs 2 boxes to stand on, Resources is the place where we do that. Students falling behind in classes because all four of their teachers are going to have that same planning block that they have Resource. Look out, your student's going to be mobbed. They're definitely going to make sure that they do their work. I say that jokingly. They're very nice people, as long as you do the work. Resource is a great time to get your work done during the day. It allows a lot of our students to get much of the work that's done for homework or some classwork that may not be done. It's a great time to study. Some students really need that 45 minutes every other day to do their work. Some students use it as an opportunity to get ahead. Some of them use it as a time to be creative and enrich their experience here at Lunsford, which is a great time.
covered everything on there.
Going a little beyond? Sorry, I'm stealing thunder. Sorry. Okay. What? Click. Block scheduling. Block scheduling, 90 minutes. We have 8 A's and B days. You're gonna have 8 classes. Blocks 1, 2, 3, and 4 on A day. Blocks 5, 6, 7, and 8 are gonna be on a B day. They're 90 minutes each. Our middle block of the day is a little bit longer just because we have lunches during that block. Language arts in 6th grade meets every day. So we actually have 2 language arts teachers per team to handle the workload. So in actuality, we have more than 4 teachers per team. We actually have 5. So but 2 of them are language arts teachers. So this is complicated, and when your student gets their schedule, they're going to struggle with that. Part of what we do in the summertime, if you have not signed up for it, I know that there's been some handouts already, and if you have not signed up, Lions Leap is going to be huge for your student to understand what their schedule is all about and how we move throughout the building. So if you've not signed up for Lions Leap, highly recommend that. The students that come and the difference between the students that don't come is night and day. And when I say night and day, I mean confidence level. We're really not showing them anything different than they haven't already been shown. They just come to the building, do it in the middle school building with middle school teachers, middle school administrators, and feel like middle schoolers. So when they show up the first day, they own it. It's great. 90 minutes is a long time, especially when you're coming out of elementary school. We have a fabulous bunch of 6th grade teachers that really use that time. They teach bell to bell. They go way in depth with things. And if they can't go in depth with things because your student may need something else, they have that time to give your student what they may need. It definitely provides for more instructional strategies. I will say with the Bring Your Own Technology initiative that we've had, the amount of creativity that has come out of 6th grade, just in general, especially like with history, language arts, has been amazing. Some of the projects that we've seen just in the hallway and just some of the one-of-the-world things that have actually come through have been incredible. And it's pretty much a teacher giving free choice to students with certain parameters behind it, and students just going crazy with their freedom. Creatively, of course. 4 classes a day means fewer transitions. Obviously, most students coming from elementary school are really going to feel like, I have all of this freedom now, Mom and Dad. It's amazing. But 4 classes actually allows for less transition in the hallway, which is better for students not to get lost or disorganized or just overwhelmed. 4 classes per day actually allows for a balance of assignments too. So specifically science and math, you'll only have that every other day. And then on the days that you don't have a class, you may have a resource in between, which will help with the balance act of all the classes that you're going to take too. There's a sample of it. Block A, or A day and block B day block. This is not your student's schedule. This may differ from when you see it. You will see it up here where we have actually a semester class in 6th grade to give students some exposure to some different things. Our elective classes actually are by semester, and those are our 2 elective classes in 6th grade, so art and keyboarding. They may not be in that order, but they will take both. Oh, and of course, you see resource and music. It will say on the schedule which one they have first, correct?
First half.
Yes. So we just switched over to Phoenix. This is a big deal, okay? So when you get your student's schedule, it'll actually say resource first or music first, or it should say resource first or second. So that'll tell you which half they have resource, either the first half of the block or the second half of the block. We don't have a bell for the middle part of the exchange, but most of the resource classes are going to be right here in this very room, and music is right over there. So they don't have far to go, right across the hallway most of the time.
When do they eat lunch, Mr. Salgado?
Oh, thank you for that wonderful question. Okay. They're going to eat lunch. Most sixth graders, we do have 1,500 students, so we're running 6 lunches right now that overlap each other by 15 minutes. We have a very nice, large cafeteria, unlike some of the other middle schools, so that allows us a little bit of freedom to do that. 6 is what we're running now. We may need to go to a few more in here in the future, but most of the sixth graders actually eat first, which they love. We first start lunch at about 11:52, and then most sixth graders are done eating by about 12:30. We do have some sixth graders that eat a little bit later than that, but most of them are done by about 12:30, which is great. That gets them into the cafeteria right at the beginning of 3rd and 7th block. And then once they're done eating, they get the rest of that 90 minutes to just get whatever it is that they have that block completed, and then moving on to 4th or 8th block. Obviously, I am not in this by myself with just being the dean. Like I mentioned earlier, the other half of this, and I truly do believe this, that the relationships in 6th grade, without relationships, rules, and instruction, without those relationships, create rebellion. And you can't have a balance act of like the authority figure without somebody to lay your head on when you need it, without having a counselor. So this is a really good team that we have here. I've learned a lot just being here. Ashley Harper and Sue Simpson here are going to be working with 6th grade next year, and I'm done.
Like you said, I'm Ashley Harper, and I will be the main 6th grade counselor. This is my 15th year in Loudoun County and in middle school. Been through 6th grade 5 times now. I love this night. I love to see a packed house, so thank you all for coming out. Sue and I are going to work a lot in tandem with your kids, so we want to just explain a little bit briefly about our roles. We differ a little bit from elementary school counselors. The biggest difference is that we are not in the classroom every other week or every week like your kids are getting in. We are in the classroom a couple times a year. In the beginning of the year, we'll go in, we do a needs assessment, so we find out what your kids need, maybe what's going on outside of school that we can assist with. We will also assess you guys. We'll send out a survey, and you all will be able to fill it out if you want to, and let us know if there are things that we can help you with or help your child with. And from there, that's really where we build our counseling program. We decide how many groups we're going to run, what large programs we're going to run. The parent copies that Gina Fink mentioned earlier, those are put on by us, so we decide who's going to come in and speak based on what our community needs. And so my job, I will have the majority of the 6th grade kids. We don't know quite yet exactly how many 6th graders we're getting, but depending on how many we're getting, Sue might also have a good amount in her care as well. And she's going to explain her role. I see kids mostly on an individual basis. They are at the door, they are leaving me notes. Teachers are coming by saying, can you please see so-and-so? Parents are calling saying, can you please talk to my kid? So that's the majority of my day, is kids stopping in or me bringing kids in. We also run a lot of groups, the counseling department here does, based on a lot of different things. Maybe divorce, maybe having trouble making friends, maybe some anger management. There's a lot of different groups that we can run. So that will be part of that needs assessment. We'll decide what group we're going to run. So anytime your kids need social emotional support, I'm their gal, and possibly Sue too. Academic planning, of course, we're going to help your kids choose courses every year. So as we go into 7th grade, as we go into 8th grade, and as we go into 9th grade, we'll be working with them. You are stuck with me for 3 years. I'll be your kids counselor all the way through 8th grade. And right now I'm in 8th grade, and so I'm getting ready to say goodbye to those little guys that are now going into 9th grade. But we do a lot of work with really making sure they're picking the right courses and looking at what's ahead. And then in elementary school, most elementary schools have a designated conference day where the teachers kind of, maybe teach a work day, or maybe they set up conferences with you guys once a quarter or once a year. We don't do that here unless you ask us, unless you say, I want to come in, I want to meet the teachers, or unless we feel like, maybe Mr. Salgado or I feel like it would be helpful to have you come in and meet with the team. And we typically do our conferences with the whole team. So all of your kids' teachers at once, Mr. Salgado and myself will be in attendance. And it's just a great way for you to get the whole picture and come up with a plan if we need to. course selection process, I hope you guys are well aware that it's happening. In Parent View, how many of you guys have logged into your Parent View? Awesome. And hopefully you've seen teacher recommendations in there. If you haven't yet, you will. You will also be getting a paper copy, a letter that's coming home from each elementary school this week, telling you what your child is currently registered for next year. Those are based on teacher recommendations. You will have the opportunity to make changes on those forms, on those letters, and then each elementary school is setting a different little deadline, so I'm not going to tell you what day you have to have the forms back to them, but it'll say on your form. So you can make changes. Music, we still have 3 band nights left, so some of you guys have not had the opportunity to even come to band selection night. That's okay. Like I said, those changes are, you're going to be able to make those changes. Once you return those forms to your elementary school, they're going to send them to me, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to make sure everybody has their course requests the way they need to be. Throughout the rest of the year, you may change your mind. Your child may change their mind. The teacher may change their mind on what they recommended. We're going to be making changes all the way through the end of the year, so don't panic if you don't like what has been recommended for your child. Let's just wait and see, and we'll have some good conversations and make sure your children are signed up for what best is for them. If you want to read about our courses, the Middle School Program of Studies is linked on the JML Counseling website. It's also on the Maine County website. But if you're wondering what is Music Lab, they've got a description there. They've got a description of what goes on in 6th grade PE and so on and so forth. So if you have questions about that, that's a good place to start. And if you don't get your questions answered, just shoot me an email. And then, like Ms. Sim said, we are going to visit all of your students on different dates at their schools in the month of March. And then everyone at one time is going to come here on April 6th, all of the rising 6th graders from all of our feeder schools. And then Lions Leap definitely is important. There are registration forms out there. There's also an online registration process you can use if you don't want to use a paper form, and that's just on our main website as well. And those are the 2 dates, the 2 weeks. They're week-long half-day programs. And you can choose morning or afternoon during those weeks. And then our open house date is August 24th, and we do divide it by alpha. So if you want to mark your calendars for that, that's the date. If your child hasn't gone to Lions Leap, they will get their schedule, they will get their locker, they will be able to walk the building, purchase PE uniforms, and the like. So just get a little acquainted with the building. It's not a back-to-school night. The teachers are not present. It's not a time for conferences. It's a time to get acquainted with the building, the locker, and the schedule. And I'm going to let Sue tell you a little bit about what she's going to do for your kids.
Good evening. Yes. As Ashley said, I'm Sue Simpson. This is my 18th year as a school counselor in Loudoun County. And for the past 2 years, I have been the programs counselor here at Lunsford. And what that means is I am involved in all of the career and college exploration activities that your children do. I not only work with 6th grade, but I work with 7th and 8th grade as well. So I'm really kind of lucky that way that I get to work with the whole student body on different career and college exploration activities. We also use a program called Family Connection. How many of you currently have a student in Lunsford right now? So you've got my million emails that I send out. I do send out a lot of emails. You'll get them from me because I also try to send out as many community activities and opportunities for your students. A lot of things that are going on at Lunsford. I will send things out about the parent coffees. You'll get a lot of my emails about those. So you'll see my name a lot once you roll over into our system, and I think that happens sometime in July. So we send out those, when you hear the word Naviance, I'm sure you probably got it from the elementary schools as well. So you'll get a lot of information through Family Connection. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Even though I'm a programs counselor, I am a school counselor, and so I do, this year I actually have a team in 8th grade. And I worked with the students on their Academy of Science applications and their TJ applications with the 8th graders. But I do function as a full-fledged school counselor in all the areas that Ashley was talking about. I run small groups with students, I meet individually with students, and I hold parent conferences. So I'm there to back up our counselors if anyone is out or not available. I'm there for the students as well. So college and career college readiness. We do different activities at different grade levels based on their development. Right now, we're gearing up for our day of work for 6th grade. Your students on that Family Connection website in the 6th grade will take a career cluster inventory, and based on those results, we have our students on one day of the year, this year it's March 18th, they get to visit 16 different work sites throughout the local community and find out what it's like to actually be at a work site and what it's like to do that job. It's an amazing partnership between our community resources and Lunsford. This is the 5th year that we've done it. This is the 1st year we've done it in 6th grade. So your students will be participating in that as well. In 7th grade, we have the students, we have college students, current college students who come and visit with our 7th grade kids and talk to them about what it's like to be in college, how to apply, what they had to take in high school to make sure that they were competitive for college. And then they also use the Family Connection website. It's got a lot of career activities on it. We just finished it with our 7th graders in conjunction with their course selection. They went in, took a very short survey, and matched themselves with other professionals who were videotaped talking about their career, talking about the obstacles, talking about their education. The key when we're talking about career education in middle school is exploration. The kids just need to find out who they are. What are their strengths? What are their skills? What do they like to do? So we don't expect them at 11 years old to know exactly what they want to do for the rest of their lives. But we do want them to sort of be introspective and think about what their strengths are and what they like and what they're good at. In 8th grade, we do a college search, and this year we're taking the entire 8th grade to James Madison University. That's going to happen last of March and the 1st of April. So these activities are really great for the kids. They get a lot of special experiences through our college and career readiness. Family Connections is the online college and career notebook. We use it at the middle school for our career exploration activities, but it's really used a lot more at the high school level. This account is their account. I tell kids all the time, go on it often. Look what's there. What have you saved? What inventories have you taken? Take them again. Take them a year later, see what's changed. At the high school level, they use this account to help kids with college applications, meeting deadlines, getting teacher recommendations. So it's their account that will follow them all the way through 12th grade. You can go on the account by logging in with their ID and their birth date. And you can see everything that they see. Again, this will be available to you, I think, sometime in July. So we use it for the career cluster information. We use it for interest inventories and college exploration. And by a million things. Lunsford is the PBIS school. I am on the PBIS committee. All of our feeder schools are also PBIS. This is the matrix that we use here at Lunsford. This creates a common language with common expectations for our kids in terms of their behavior in our common area. And this has been our matrix since we started Lunsford 5 years ago. The committee met. We created this matrix, and it's all around the building, and this is the expectation for all the students here at Lunsford. We are a lions that roar. We will respect, ownership, achievement, and responsibility. We also have roar rewards. So when your student is meeting those expectations, teachers will hand out little tickets, probably the similar system you have at elementary school. The students can earn these roar tickets and accumulate them, and then they can trade them in for different rewards. Some of them, the wear a hat day, you wouldn't believe how popular that is. You would think it would be like stuff and like candy and stuff, but no. They want to wear a hat. They also love to sit in the teacher chair. Like that's a huge. We try to change make this rewards menu up about every quarter so that we have different rewards for the The other thing I want to just mention to you is we are an expect respect school. This is an extension of the stop, walk, and talk system that the kids had at the elementary school. And we have a word that we are teaching our children to use when they either are the victim of some mistreatment or they see mistreatment. And the word your kids will be taught is enough. We teach them this at the very beginning of the year, that if they are a witness to mistreatment or a victim of mistreatment, that they can use the word enough, and at that point the expectation is the mistreatment will stop. We don't have a lot of bullying incidents at Lunsford. The kids are very respectful. But we wanted to give them a tool to be able to confront mistreatment when they see it. So our word is enough. You'll hear them talk about that when they come. Okay, I'm going to introduce Ms. Bonnie Archer. She is our technology resource teacher.
I have the most fun in school because I am a technology person as well. I started as a high school English teacher and a school librarian, but as soon as technology came into the schools, we use, not that I'm technology focused, so my job is really to work as an instructional coach with all of the teachers in the school to help guide their use of technology and find wise use of technology, which is not at all a problem in the school because teachers are so enthusiastic in their use. And then to help every student in the school and all the teachers in the school, any challenges that they have with technology, which is such an interesting part of my job. It's quite simple. And we start from teaching students how to set good, safe passwords to being safe and ethical with all the use of their technology, which is really parent view becomes much more important to you in middle school because you can see very specific things in parent view. So you will see all assignments, all resources that teachers post for those assignments. You'll see comments from teachers. So hopefully you'll have access and you'll sit with your child and talk about why the grades are exactly what they are. But I think that the view of peer view becomes a much more dynamic tool in middle school. So when you log in for a middle school child, it looks much like this. So you have a wealth of resources there for every class. And it goes to every specific assignment and grade that the child has. So you have access to that and you can see exactly how the child is doing it and what resources the teachers are using for these students. We'll certainly review all of this at the beginning of the year. So we have several sort of clinics where you can come in and get help with your reviews so you know how to navigate. And this is one specific child's grades and one specific class. So it becomes a much more complete picture of all of it. We are a BYOT school. We thoughtfully developed our program of Bring Your Own Technology to the school. So we started at the beginning of last year, launched it with the students right after spring break, so that we carefully, wisely introduced a wealth of technology tools for use with our students. Certainly the use is not constant, it's very focused, so it's not as though our kids are sitting with devices all the time. It is certainly something that's used well and carefully, but thoughtfully and very focused. So it's not just excessive screen time. That's very important. Technology is directed by the teachers. So we have a system to let students know. We strongly, as soon as you want, you might want to add another one to that. We strongly, emphatically recommend that students have devices with keyboards.
Yes, the county does not allow us to recommend a specific type of computer. We cannot say, yes, go buy a Chromebook or buy an iPad. However, the way that our teachers use technology in the classroom, the best use is something with a keyboard and not an iPhone.
I knew she was being emphatic there. We do have students who are able to write paragraphs on an iPhone, but it's a much more tedious task than when they're using a device with a keyboard. The most popular devices in our school are actually Chromebooks, which our PTAs provided for us. Every Chromebook that we have is in use every block of the day. It is not a tool of choice. We have laptops on our network as well. We have labs as well. So we do have a wealth of technology, but Chromebooks are faster, speedier, and widely popular. We thought about students with devices throughout the school. We are very careful to have what we call no zones. So there are places in school where our students are not to have technology at all. They're not to be using technology in halls. They're not ever to be using technology in the bathroom or the locker room. And not in the cafeteria because we want them talking with each other and not just looking at the screen. So again, even in their freer time, their use of technology is very focused and very creative. So this is a thoughtful process. And we are Google Apps for Education School, which has been remarkable. We went to Google Apps for Education as soon as we could. It's a tremendous tool for middle school students because it carefully helps them to be very, very educated. You may remember those times when you were at home, you desperately needed something that you had for homework, a handout, a sheet of paper. It was in your locker in school. That's no longer a problem for the most part because teachers post resources not only in Phoenix, but also in Google Apps, so that our students have what they need to work on at home and at school. So they can start a paper in the lab or in their classroom, go back to it at home, work on the same document because it's cloud-based. It's remarkable, helpful, teaches more about collaboration. Our students are good at using technology efficiently and working together, so they can be in different parts of the county working on the same project with people. It really is rather revolutionary. Our teachers, of course, went beyond that, and many of them use Google Classroom as well. So not only do they use Google Drive to store and share with their students, but they have specific sites for people to Google Classroom. So tremendously helpful for the somewhat scattered middle school students. I mean, it really is that support to help them feel organized and it's good. And again, we're a school where teachers embrace technology and use technology tremendously. Teaching good digital citizenship, learning what they do, and really advocate wise use of technology. We'll have lots of time for questions about that. And Jennifer Brooks.
Good evening, parents. Welcome to Back to Middle School. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Lunsford, and I have had the pleasure of being here for all 5 years that we've been open. So the transformation that I see from year to year, our school keeps getting better and stronger. Our staff becomes more invested in our school philosophy, and I'm really excited to welcome a new class of 6th graders and 6th grade parents. Part of my job here at Lunsford is to help supervise 6th grade and 7th grade, along with the science department. So throughout the day, we have multiple tasks that we're always bouncing back and forth to and from. I work also with the transportation, the SOL testing, and also I work very closely with our custodial staff to make sure that our building looks brand new every day that we walk into the building. We have a very, very beautiful building, and our custodial staff really takes a great deal of pride in our beautiful building and our beautiful campus. So welcome back to middle school. The two words that I really want to leave you with today are involvement and opportunities. Your child will have multiple opportunities that are new to them when they walk into middle school for the very first time. One of the ways that your child can become involved and take advantage of opportunities is to become involved in an after-school club or organization. On the PowerPoint, we have a couple of examples of clubs that we've had over the first 5 years of existence. Our current listing, we have over 30 opportunities for students, 30 opportunities, 30 groups that meet regularly on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays. And they range from activities to enrichment to the Green Club, the Leo Club, a community service organization, athletics. So we really have a wide spectrum. But if your child would like to start a club, if they have a particular interest in something that we don't offer, all they have to do is approach one of the teachers or administrators and find a teacher sponsor. For example, the Lego Club is one of our most popular clubs, and that started because we had a student who was 100% all in with Legos. And that became one of our more popular clubs once we were aware that that was a need and a desire. We were able to find a teacher sponsor and get that club up and running. So again, please encourage your child to become involved and take advantage of these opportunities through a club or organization. Our school really likes to become involved in the community at large. We do that in a number of ways. A couple of pictures here. Our chorus last year sang at the halftime of a Wizards basketball game. We have lots of parent coffees at the bottom left-hand picture. Picture of our PTA and how they are regularly in our building helping us to fulfill the needs that we have for instruction or programs that we wish to have in the building. We have a very involved and athletic staff. So here we have a bunch of our teachers who participated in the South Riding 5K, Race for Education. And the upper right-hand picture shows a student-led fundraiser. This is a group of students who came forward after a disaster and wanted to raise some money. So with our approval, and we talked through the details of how that would go down, we have a student group really showing their character, showing that they have the empathy and the concern for other people across the United States by raising money. So we really like to be involved with our community. When you go home tonight, I ask you to get your child involved now. On our website, on the right-hand side of our website, there is a button called 6th Grade Rising Information. If you click on that button and scroll to the bottom, Ms. Sims is asking your child to write us a note or a letter. There's 4 prompts. There's 4 questions that they can use, or they can choose their own, to tell us a little bit about themselves. What are they looking for in middle school? What are they excited about? What are they nervous about? What's something unique about them? We want to start learning about your child before they start with us in August. So if they are sending us a letter, and it has all the information, where to send it, you can email it, you can mail it, we will send in return a small spirit item to your child to actually get them excited about becoming a Lunsford Lion before they even walk in our door. So that's one way you can have your child start to get involved in the Lion spirit even before August. Here's one way, or several ways, that you as a parent can become involved. We heard from Gina earlier about becoming a PTA partner. Please join the PTA for $10. Those $10 go a long way with helping our teachers provide the most rigorous and challenging curriculum that they can. Opportunities for business partnerships. If you're a business owner, or if you work with a company who has resources, perhaps the day at work that Ms. Simpson was talking about, perhaps we can have your place of business or your work be one of our stops for our 6th graders. We would love to partner with you in that type of a relationship. As rising 6th grade parents, the next piece of information is really, really paramount. Please, if you have not already, please make an appointment with your child's physician to get the Tdap immunization soon. We are not allowed by law to allow a student to attend a class on the first day of school unless we have that documentation that they have in fact had that immunization. So please work with your child's nurse now at the elementary level. Make sure that they see it documented. If they don't see it documented, please go ahead and make that appointment. The doctor's offices become very busy in July and August with all of the families who need to get this immunization taken care of. So please double and triple check that and make sure we have that documentation. There's nothing worse and on the first day of middle school, having to not permit a child to go to class. It's heartbreaking for us, and it's heartbreaking for the children. So please make sure that that has been attended to. And again, general involvement. The best piece of information that I've heard thus far is the utilization of parent view. Instead of asking your child next year, hey, how was your day? What did you do today? The questions should be, hey, I saw you turned in a project in history class, and you got a B on it. Tell me about that. What did you do? What kind of feedback did you get from your teachers? What do we need to do differently next time? Because as a parent, you have 24-hour access to your child's attendance, their grades, if something was turned in late, if something wasn't turned in. You can really prompt and guide those discussions now that the information is online and available for you 24 hours a day. You will often hear, oh, I didn't do anything, but if you rephrase the question, hey, I saw in math class, you had a formative today, a formative assessment on quadrilaterals. Talk to me about that. How do you feel like you did? That changes the conversation at the household when your children know that you're aware of what they're doing. So again, my 2 words are involvement and opportunities. Welcome back to middle school. Thank you for your time. So as we begin to wrap up, please make sure you see our school's website. You've heard a lot of different references to technology here. That is a big key point because we have 1,500 people. The easiest way for us to get information to you and for you to access it is our website. Everything is up to date. We post our daily announcements every day. Everything goes up on our website. Like us on Facebook. I'm constantly in classrooms taking pictures of cool activities and putting them up because we've got permission. If your child is on the media opt-out list, we don't do that. I have my list right next to me. I use Twitter, I use Facebook to really talk about the great things going on at the school. So follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook. Contact your child's teacher. And I know our best piece of advice is don't let something fester. If your kid comes home and says something to you that doesn't quite sound right, call us, find out what it was that happened. Usually there's a way to resolve an issue before it gets too big. But if you sit at home and you let it get angry, you let yourself get angry and you fester and you keep thinking about things over and over in your head, you let it build up, then it just comes out in that scrolling email to us. And when we look at those, we have certain things that we think in our heads too, and our philosophy is we pick up the phone and we're going to call you. We are not going to send you a scrolling email back. Please, let us resolve issues when they're small so that we don't have big issues in the building. And contact any of the Lunsford staff. We are here to help all of you. It's just one of those things that I've noticed at our school in the 6 months that I've been here, is that if we ask our staff to do something, I'll put an email out thinking maybe 2 people will say, yeah, Carrie, I'll help you out on that, and I get 20. It's an amazingly invested staff of teachers. Many of them are parents of students in our building. They're your neighbors. They care about the sanctity of this school. They care about the success of this school. I know you're going to have a lot of questions. I'm sure some of your heads are probably spinning right now with all of the information that you've been given. But just kind of keep the most important thing the most important thing. It's time for us to let our kids explore a little bit. It's time for them to take risks. It's time for them to maybe hit up that honors class that they didn't think they could do, because we're going to provide the supports for them to make them successful. And it's also about time to just see the beauty of your children growing up, because you're sitting here as rising 6th grade parents tonight, and in a very few short years, you're going to be sitting over at Freedom High School thinking, oh my goodness, now I have to think about college. It goes that fast. So, we thank you very much for coming. We will stay here as long as you have questions, but do not feel like you are offending us by getting up and going out back into the rain. Be safe and enjoy, and I can stay for any questions.